Welcome to another exciting episode where we dive deep into the hidden treasures of American coins. Today's story will absolutely shock you. We're talking about one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever discovered, the 1966 no-mint mark Washington $quarter coin. A simple 25-cent piece that could change your life forever. Believe it or not, one of these quarters recently made headlines for being valued at a staggering $11 million. Yes, you heard that right. $11 million for a single Washington quarter. At first glance, the 1966 quarter doesn't look much different from the ordinary coins we see every day in our pocket change. But there's a story behind this coin that makes it one of the most intriguing in American numismatic history. To understand why it is so valuable, we need to travel back to the mid-1960s, a time of transition, confusion, and change within the U.S. Mint. In 1965, the United States Mint made a major decision to remove silver from circulating coins. Before that, quarters, dimes, and half dollars contained 90% silver. But due to rising silver prices and coin shortages, the Mint switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition starting in 1965. This change caused chaos among collectors, and even the general public noticed differences in weight and appearance. The 1966 quarter was part of this early experimental phase, which means some mistakes and rare variations slipped through the cracks, and that's where the mystery begins. You see, the 1966 no-mint mark Washington quarter wasn't supposed to have any special qualities. During this time, the U.S. Mint had actually stopped placing mint marks on coins altogether, to discourage hoarding and speculation. So technically, all quarters from 1965 to 1967 were struck without a mint mark, regardless of where they were produced. But here's the twist: some 1966 quarters exhibit unusual striking errors, doubled dies, off-center strikes, and even special proof-like surfaces that were never intended for circulation. These are the kinds of rare characteristics that drive collectors wild. Among these, one particular 1966 quarter stood out from all others, the one that eventually reached an estimated market value of $11 million. What made it special? Experts believe it was struck on a leftover silver planchet, a blank piece of metal that was supposed to be discontinued after 1964. That means this coin might actually contain silver in a year when no silver quarters were supposed to exist. Imagine holding a coin that defied official minting policy. That's exactly what makes this 1966 quarter one of the rarest in history. Now let's break down what collectors look for in these quarters. First, check the edge of the coin. Normal 1966 quarters have a visible copper layer on the edge, showing a reddish-brown strip. But if you happen to find one that looks solid silver or lacks that copper stripe, you may have something extraordinary. Next, look for doubling on the words "Liberty, in God We Trust," or the date 1966. Doubling indicates a misalignment during striking, which can increase the value exponentially. Finally, examine the reverse side. Look at the word $quarter and the eagle's feathers. If they appear sharper or more defined than usual, you might be looking at a proof strike error, another clue that your coin could be unique. Many coin experts have analyzed the rare 1966 quarter that sold for millions. The surface shows mirror-like qualities and an unusually sharp strike, suggesting it may have been an experimental or test strike made under special conditions. Some even speculate that it could have been a presentation piece accidentally released into circulation. Whatever the truth is, its existence proves that even the smallest details can turn an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Let's talk about the historical context. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932, designed by sculptor John Flanagan to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It was never meant to continue as a permanent design, but due to its popularity, it became the standard quarter for decades. By 1966, the design had already been in circulation for over 30 years, and yet, it was still evolving through material and minting changes. The no-mint mark feature from 1965 to 1967 adds another layer of intrigue because collectors can't easily trace where these coins were made: Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. This lack of transparency gave rise to some of the rarest and most desirable error coins in U.S. history. Now, you might be wondering, how can a simple quarter become worth $11 million? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and historical significance. Only one or two examples of this unique silver planchet 1966 quarter have ever been confirmed. Combine that with the mystery of its origin, and you have the perfect recipe for astronomical value. At major auctions, bidders from around the world competed fiercely, driving the price higher and higher until it reached record-breaking territory. One private collector finally secured the coin, paying the equivalent of $11 million, making it one of the most expensive quarters ever known. Collectors say that coins like these are not just money, they're pieces of American history. Every tiny detail, from the luster to the rim, from the die marks to the edge, tells a story of human error, experimentation, and discovery. Owning a coin like the 1966 no-mint Mark Washington quarter is like owning a time capsule from a moment when the U.S. Mint was struggling to adapt to modern change. So how can you find out if you have one of these treasures? Start by checking your old coin collections, family piggy banks, or even old jars of change. The best way to identify a valuable 1966 quarter is to look for any that feel slightly heavier or sound different when dropped compared to regular copper-nickel coins. You can also visit a local coin dealer or send your coin to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Professional graders can verify whether your coin has the unique characteristics that make it worth a fortune. Remember, even small minting differences can mean big money. Some of the most valuable 1966 quarters discovered to date have included varieties such as the double die obverse, off-center strike errors, and struck-through minting defects. Each of these errors tells a fascinating story about the minting process. For example, an off-center strike means the coin wasn't properly aligned when struck, leaving part of the design missing or misshaped. These can fetch thousands of dollars on their own. Meanwhile, a coin struck on a leftover silver planchet is the jackpot, since those planchets should have been melted and replaced years before. The legend of the 1966 no-mint Mark Washington quarter continues to grow with each passing year. As collectors share stories and discoveries online, new examples occasionally surface, reigniting excitement and speculation. But none so far have matched the quality and mystery of that original $11 million specimen. It stands as a reminder that even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary secrets. For those who love the thrill of treasure hunting, this coin represents hope. Hope that one day, a casual find in an old drawer or an inherited collection could transform into a life-changing discovery. Stories like these fuel the passion of numismatists and everyday people alike, proving that history can literally be hiding in plain sight. So, next time you come across an old Washington quarter, don't just spend it. Take a moment to look closely. Examine the edge, the shine, the details, and the texture. You never know, you might be holding the next $1 million coin. And if that coin happens to be a 1966 no-mint Mark quarter with unusual characteristics, it's worth getting it appraised immediately. Before we wrap up, let's recap what makes this coin so valuable. Number 1. It's a transitional error, possibly struck on a leftover silver planchet. Number 2. It has no mint mark, which adds mystery and rarity. Number 3. It may have proof-like qualities, indicating a special or experimental strike. And number 4. It's one of the few coins ever to reach an astounding value of $11 million, making it a true legend among U.S. coins. The 1966 no-mint Mark Washington quarter reminds us that numismatics isn't just about collecting old money. It's about uncovering history, craftsmanship, and stories that connect generations. From George Washington's legacy to the modern-day treasure hunter searching for fortune, every coin has a tale to tell. The key is knowing where to look and understanding what makes each piece unique. If you've enjoyed learning about this incredible 1966 quarter, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with other coin enthusiasts. Your support helps us continue to uncover the world's rarest coins and the amazing stories behind them. The year was 1980. The United States was undergoing major changes, politically, economically, and culturally. Amid all that, millions of Washington quarter-dollar coins were minted and circulated across the country. Most people spent them without a second thought, using them for everyday purchases like gas, snacks, or payphones. But little did anyone know that one of these coins, the 1980p Mint Mark Washington quarter, would one day become one of the most valuable coins in American history, worth an astonishing $10 million today. Yes, you heard that right, $10 million for a 25-cent coin. But how could a coin minted in such a common year, with millions in circulation, become so valuable? That's exactly what we're going to explore in this video. From its fascinating history and design to the rare minting errors that make it unique, and the incredible story behind the coin that shocked collectors worldwide, we'll break it all down step by step. So stay tuned until the end, because this story will completely change the way you look at your pocket change forever. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter dollar was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, featuring a profile portrait of Washington on the obverse side and a majestic bald eagle with spread wings on the reverse. The coin has become a symbol of American history, and it's one of the most recognizable pieces of U.S. currency even today. Now fast forward to 1980. This was a transitional time for U.S. coin production. The U.S. Mint was making major updates to coin presses and adjusting metal compositions in preparation for new designs and economic inflation. The Philadelphia Mint, which is identified by the P Mint mark, played a key role in producing millions of these quarters for general circulation. But among those millions, a few rare and mysterious errors slipped through the minting process. Errors that would eventually create one of the most legendary coins in numismatic history. Let's talk about what makes the 1980p Mint Mark Washington quarter so special. Normally, these coins are composed of copper and nickel, weighing about 5.67 grams. The obverse features the bust of George Washington with the word, Liberty, inscribed above his head, the motto, In God We Trust, to the left, and the year, 1980, below. The P Mint mark can be found just beside Washington's ponytail. The reverse features the bold eagle perched on a bundle of arrows surrounded by olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. But what truly separates the $10 million quarter from the rest are the multiple minting anomalies that make it a one-of-a-kind specimen. According to expert collectors and numismatic researchers, this coin exhibits an ultra-rare double die obverse error, where the die used to strike the coin was misaligned slightly, causing a doubled image effect on the inscriptions and the portrait. This is visible particularly on the words, Liberty and In God We Trust, which appear slightly shadowed or doubled under magnification. That doubling dramatically increases the rarity and desirability of the coin. However, that's not all. This particular coin is also believed to have been struck on a transitional planchet, meaning it was mistakenly made on a metal blank intended for a different denomination, possibly a silver planchet left over from earlier years. This gives it a slightly different color, luster, and weight compared to regular 1980 quarters. These unusual characteristics make it instantly recognizable to professional graders and collectors. When the coin was first discovered, it caused a sensation in the coin collecting world. It was found by a collector in Pennsylvania who had received it in change from a small-town grocery store. The finder noticed something odd about the coin's texture and coloration, and upon closer inspection under a magnifying glass, realized it was unlike any other Washington quarter he had ever seen. After sending it to the Professional Coin Grading Service, or PCGS, the coin was authenticated, graded, and eventually confirmed as one of the most remarkable minting errors ever found. Over the years, the coin's fame grew, appearing in coin magazines, collector shows, and even making headlines in numismatic auctions. At one major auction, collectors from all around the world placed staggering bids on the piece. What began as a quarter worth 25 cents skyrocketed to over $10 million, breaking previous records for modern-era coin values. But what makes it so valuable isn't just the rarity. It's the combination of historical significance, flawless preservation, and the story behind its discovery. The 1980p Mint Mark quarter is a perfect example of how the smallest details in minting can turn ordinary coins into national treasures. Experts estimate that fewer than 3 coins with these exact features may exist, and only one has ever been confirmed with such pristine condition. Now let's take a closer look at the coin's grading. The coin that sold for $10 million was graded as MS68 by PCGS, meaning mint state 68 out of 70, a near-perfect example. It had almost no visible marks or scratches, full luster, and sharp striking details. Coins of this caliber are extremely rare, especially from a circulated year like 1980. Even minor imperfections can reduce value dramatically, but this coin was nearly flawless. So, what should you look for if you think you might have a valuable 1980p Washington quarter in your possession? First, inspect the mint mark area closely. Make sure the P is clear and correctly placed. Then, check for any signs of doubling in the inscriptions or Washington's facial features. Use a magnifying glass or a coin microscope if you can. Pay attention to the weight as well. A genuine transitional error coin may weigh slightly different from the standard 5.67 grams, sometimes around 5.9 or 6.1 grams depending on the metal composition. If you notice these signs, it's worth getting your coin professionally appraised. Even if your coin doesn't have the major minting error, a high-grade 1980p quarter can still be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially in mint state condition. Collectors always value coins that have full luster, sharp details, and minimal wear. So, if you find an uncirculated 1980 quarter in perfect condition, keep it safe. It might be worth more than you think. Let's not forget the historical context too. The 1980s marked a turning point in American coin production. The Philadelphia Mint only began using the P mint mark on quarters starting in 1980, making this the first year that Philadelphia quarters carried that identifying letter. That alone adds a layer of importance to this coin, since it represents the beginning of a new era in U.S. minting history. When you combine the historical milestone, the ultra-rare minting errors, and the perfect condition, you get a recipe for one of the most valuable coins ever made. That's why collectors and investors alike see the 1980p mint mark Washington quarter as a true treasure, a piece that bridges both history and mystery. The story of this coin also serves as a reminder to all of us. Every time you receive change, every time you handle coins, you might be holding something extraordinary without realizing it. A simple glance could uncover a fortune hiding in plain sight. Countless stories have emerged of people finding rare coins in everyday circulation, coins worth thousands, even millions. So the next time you check your loose change or look through an old coin jar, take a moment to inspect those quarters. You never know, you might just have a piece of numismatic history sitting in your pocket. The 1980p mint mark Washington $quarter coin worth $10 million stands as a symbol of how small details can make a massive difference. It's a reminder that rarity and value are born not just from time, but from uniqueness and preservation. For collectors, this coin is more than just metal. It's a story, a piece of art, and a time capsule from a different era. In the end, the true value of any coin lies not only in its price tag but in the journey it represents. From the minting presses of Philadelphia in 1980 to the record-breaking auctions of today, the 1980p quarter has traveled through history, telling a story of discovery, passion, and the enduring fascination of coin collecting. And for that reason, it remains one of the most extraordinary coins ever made. So remember, check your coins carefully. Because hidden among the ordinary could be the next $1 million discovery. You might not just be holding a piece of change, you could be holding a piece of history.